What's up, everybody? We're joined today with Brendan of Counterparts and also of Twitter. Do you own Twitter at this point too?
I wish I did. They need a if any dumbass white boy shit on Twitter, it should be me over who actually owns it. But
It's how it goes.
we deal with it.
We deal with it. We deal with it. Well, that's the thing, and I remember having you on last time, and we didn't get to have like a podcast, so I'm glad we get to like shoot the shit, just shit talk bands, have some fun instead of what were we doing last? Were we doing TikTok? Did I subject you to TikTok?
I think last time I'm pretty sure we were doing yeah, I think we were just like listening to new music. It was like people would submit their stuff and we would like check it out and jam it and either be like, this rocks or this sucks.
Yeah.
But
well, guess what's new that rocks? Something, I'm sure, but also the new Counterparts.
New twice, but no.
Brendan.
Thank you.
I checked. When did it? It was you guys just surprised out of nowhere. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like even I got my little whatever connects sometimes with the labels. No one said shit. It was just Counterparts. We're here. What was the thought behind like the surprise droppage? The all of it. Hit me with it.
I mean, so I've been trying to do like a surprise drop forever. Like, and with like labels and shit, obviously it's like, they spend a lot of money on records, right? So, anytime like we've never really done like a full legit EP. Like it's always been like, here's 3 songs. It's like they're B-sides or whatever. We've never done like, hey, here's an EP of like all new music. Like, yes, the B-sides are new technically, but so I've always tried to do it with like full lengths and stuff, and everyone's just like, no, like, like label, like everyone's just like, are you crazy? Like no pre-order, no first week sale stuff, like none of that. Like this is so dumb. Like why would you, like why would anybody do this? And my thing was, I'm just like, I don't know, like big artists do it all the time, like just a random drop, and it's like, when I think about it, it's like rappers and shit and like, big pop stars that like they're gonna get on Billboard and whatever, like they're getting their record sales regardless. So it doesn't really matter for them.
Counterparts like the Kendrick or the Drake of metalcore?
I don't know, it's tough. I think so that is a tough one.
You want to go posty? We can do outside of the straight up battle here. We can go.
I mean, those two. I mean, it makes the most sense. I mean, if we're talking allegations wise, probably don't want to be either. But no, I'm trying to think like, and aside from the obvious, like we're from Canada and shit, like close enough to Toronto.
I'm sorry about that, by the way, as a fellow Canadian.
It's all right. Whatever.
Is it cold there?
Yeah, it's cold as hell.
It's frozen
like,
now.
Well, I mean, it's like 9 degrees outside right now, Celsius. It's not that bad.
Real numbers.
But you wear a coat, you're all right. But I don't know. That is a tough one. I think like, I think I would have to go with Kendrick because it's like I feel like the people that I mean they're both very big and well respected and stuff, but I think it's like if I had to compare us to one of them, it's like Drake is, it's like biggest like fucking star in the world. It's like that doesn't really describe us. I think like for Kendrick and stuff, it's like, especially on like a lyrical standpoint, it's like you go to, a lot of people I think view us. It's like our fans, like the fans that we do have, we don't have millions of them, but the ones we do have, they love us. And I feel like that's more of a Kendrick vibe than Drake necessarily, but
that makes sense. I mean, all like Toronto, like yay, like that's it.
Yeah,
you guys. Right? I mean, you guys are technically from Hamilton, right? Like it's not.
Yeah.
Does that count as Toronto anymore or no? Right. It doesn't.
I wouldn't. I never really, like if I guess if I ever refer to us like Toronto or whatever, even if people are like I wouldn't even call it like a hometown show if we're on a tour. Like other people are like, oh yeah, like hometown show. I'm like kinda, but it's like close enough. Like it's close enough to hometown. I feel like whenever I tell people where they're like, where are you guys from? I'm always like Hamilton. And then usually if they're not Canadian, people are like, where's that? And then I'm like, it's like kind of near Toronto. But I
Okay.
always
Yeah.
make sure to go like to let it be known. It's like, oh, we're a Hamilton band. Like we claim Hamilton, we ride for Hamilton. Like
Mm.
I am never, even when I lived in Toronto for like a year,
I'm
I've
sorry about that.
never, yeah, that shit sucked. I've never been like, yeah, Toronto, whatever. It's like, nope,
Right.
we are Hamilton
Right.
through and through. I can see in the chat somebody asked, Hamilton is like 40 minutes from Toronto.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's like
Brendan's watching
if there's
chat,
no traffic.
so don't be you be
Yeah.
watching there.
Yeah, I got it up. I got two monitors for a reason.
Dude, have you ever dude, you are the fucking funniest dude I have probably met in the music scene. Like,
thank you.
I mean, you
Nice
and Craig
of you
are
to say.
pretty even, like in terms of like jokes per minute. Like, if
I
I had
think
to
so.
talk to a
I think
human
so.
and guarantee a laugh, like you and Craig go pretty toe to toe for that one. But
Yep.
like, have you thought about doing like the streaming thing? Because you're so funny that I could picture just people going wild for that.
We did it for a sec. I mean, we had like it was over like pandemic, like quarantine shit. Like we had like a contract thing with Twitch. And, so that's why like I have any of this stuff, you know what I mean? That's why I like
Right.
got a decent webcam. Like I've got the microphone and
Got
the
the mic.
arm and, all of that stuff. And it's like, I went out because I was like, I gotta, if we do it, and especially if Twitch is paying us, it's like, I gotta do it right.
Right.
And it's funny now seeing like the biggest streamers in the world and stuff. And it's like, I see that dude, like that, like queso dude. And I'm just like, God, I'm like, what is he doing it off his like MacBook camera? I'm like, Jesus Christ, why did I go through all this trouble?
Right.
But we did it for a while. And I think when we did it, it was like the caveat to it was like, it has to be music related. So it has to be like,
Oh.
you know,
That's not. No one cares about
like
music. That's not fun.
that's what I mean. And
Right.
and also for like from like a streaming standpoint, it was like Kyle did it a lot because it's like, yeah, he's gonna stream drums, he's gonna stream him writing songs, like, Logic, like putting shit together and stuff. And I'm like, well, the only thing I've got, it's like I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna record, I'm not gonna stream myself like what in my apartment screaming, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's crazy. Also, I don't know how to do it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to like EQ that shit or nothing. This is all NVIDIA broadcast. It's like I turn it on and it
Right.
makes all the other background sounds go away. But it got like, so for me, I was kind of just like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, and I'm like, I guess it's just straight up Q&A. And like that's what it was. You know what I mean? It would be like every day or a couple times a week. I mean, I would get on and just be like, yep, I'm streaming Q&A shit. Like ask me whatever and I'll talk about it. And then I would just do it until I got bored and it
Right.
like slowed down and I would just be like, all right, like I'm out of here. And then I would bail, but like, I don't know. I guess I've thought about it for like other stuff, especially now, like, cause I've gotten so into video games. Like that's kind of all I do now when I'm at home. Like
What are
if
you
I'm
throwing
not
down?
on tour, now, like as of lately, it's been Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Okay.
And it's like, I don't know if I like it. I just have to beat it at this point.
Just have to
Like it's
beat it.
not very fun, but I do okay, but yeah, a lot of like single player games like that. And like before that I was doing Wukong. That's like the
Wukong
best
looks
game I've
sick.
ever played.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk was before that. Like it did that in the DLC. And yeah, so I've just been doing that. But I've always thought like, yeah, I'm like maybe I could like maybe I could stream it and people might watch it. But I'm like I don't know if it's better or worse that it's like if people are like, are they gonna watch it to be like, oh, Brendan's like good at this game? It's like, no, I'm not. Like you're watching it to watch me freak out,
Dude, people
like,
watch me.
and get
I'm not
mad
good
and,
at any. They just come to hang out because they're bored or taking a shit. That's the majority of the viewers.
yeah,
here.
true. But yeah, I mean, like I've thought about it. My only thing is like the schedule thing. That stuff's tough for me. Like I think about
Yeah.
like where it's like I'm gonna do this every, whatever, like every Monday and Wednesday and Friday at like 5 p.m. And then it's like, all one day if I'm like, I don't feel like it.
Right.
Like I don't want to do it today. You like can't, you're like kind of letting
You gotta
people
be
down. So I'm
consistent.
kind of
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
that's
just
the thing.
like, I don't know if I have it in me. And then if I'm gonna do it half-assed and be like, yeah, I stream whenever I feel like it, it's
Yeah.
like, do I even do it then? Like, are
Right.
people gonna just like wait around for that and be like,
Hmm.
well, maybe he'll do it tomorrow, who knows?
Well,
But
what I could picture ace content for you especially is doing like multiplayer shit with like the homies. Like you get in some kind of
yep,
multiplayer game, you get Craig in there, and you just get all the funny people to just
yep,
nonstop just shit talk, have
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That's a because that doesn't. And I wish I had like a group of just people around that kind of do that. Like even whatever on the content side, or even just like many musicians. A lot of people who are musicians, they want their game time is very sacred. You know what I mean? It's like this is
that's
when
true.
everyone
Yeah,
shuts the fuck up, and I'm here alone with
and I
no
get to,
noises, and I am just doing my thing.
yep.
But that's something that's definitely very fun. I've had every time I have a guest on the stream, which I guess I have to ask you now too. Do you throw a block to start off?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, like a block in a game, you throw it.
Yeah,
Do you throw a block?
in like, I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess
You
I
play?
would have to.
Okay, yeah, like playing Minecraft.
Oh no, I mean, I've never tried it,
Okay,
but like,
that's okay.
I was gonna say, like, I think in I played like Last of Us for a second,
That was like I love the like
before
very
I got Elden
serious,
Ring.
in depth like. And I was like, shit, man. Like,
Yeah,
what?
like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, shit. Are you like? Is that like a thing? Is that something you're not supposed to do? I was like, I think I threw a brick at a guy in Last of Us, but then I,
That's
but then I got Elden Ring, and I
well, because
was like,
I've been when we had fucking Cloud on the stream one time, and he said that term because he was doing the whole Minecraft Slipknot stuff,
yeah,
and he was like, when I throw block with the boys, I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard someone say, and
that is sick.
now I have to ask everybody, and I'm trying to
Yep,
recruit. Like we got to get Clown on the server. Will's got to stop by randomly. Tom Barber.
yep.
Just get Craig in too. Like everyone just playing Minecraft, not knowing what the fuck is happening. That's a party.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that would be like unparalleled levels of autism just popping. You know what I mean? Like just all like you got a bunch of like music people playing Minecraft. It's like
Jeez.
I
Right.
yeah, I think about that. It's like especially my team too. It's just like,
Right.
counterparts guys.
Well,
It's like, yeah, we're all
you know what
we're
I
littered with it,
you know what I
But
wanted. I've been and I know you. By the way, you and Craig are going to do the downbeat thing. I want to talk about that in a second too. But
yep.
I was thinking about pitching it to you and Craig to come on the show near Christmas to do a canceled vocalist tier list. Cause like that's fucking funny as shit. It's fucked
Good.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only thing is though, it would probably have to be like apology tier list because I mean it's a little easier to like maybe be like, okay, let's their
Yeah.
apology and rank that versus like I mean
Sure.
you can't really get crazier than Ian Watkins anyway, so like there's not really a point. But
That's the thing. I
yeah.
mean, like, yeah, if we're going from like a okay, like,
Hmm.
from a canceled vocalist, like,
Hmm.
like their performance, like if you were actually able to separate them from
Yeah, yeah.
whatever like heinous shit that they did
Right.
to, like, okay, performance alone, like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we're going on like, yeah, if we're going based off like who deserved the cancellation the most or who
Right.
did the craziest shit, it's like, yeah, I mean, Ian Walker's probably gonna take it.
He's
But
gonna
but
take it.
yeah, but as far as like vocal performance from him, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no!
Like,
Oh
were
yeah,
Lost,
not like good.
were Lost
There
Prophets
can't.
even that
There's
good?
no
Like,
good.
I don't know.
Yeah, no good tied to it. So that's something I gotta you and Craig if that's something near the holidays.
Yeah.
Because it's the perfect time
Yeah.
of Christmas of like let's ruin everyone's lives and talk
Yeah,
about
let's bring everybody together and just
just shit
fuck
talk
it up.
together.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just how is like
Yep.
because I've when it comes to Twitter especially like is that
Yep.
still kind of your main outlet of jokes, funniness. So like, that's your social media interaction, I guess, choice of
I
platform.
would, yeah, I would say that it's, like it's. I mean, I think for me, it's like that's where I have the most reach is like for whatever,
Hmm.
and like I was gonna say for whatever reason, but it's like I know the reason. It's like, you know, like I put all my RPG points and shit in like when I was, like
RPG
when
points.
it was like,
Right.
my like create a character, I'm born.
Yeah.
I put them all into, yeah, just like I was like, yeah, like let's go like really heavy on humor. And
Right.
for some reason being able to fucking yell and then like, everything else in the like that any other skill you can have, let's just leave those at zero.
Let's figure it
But
out.
yeah, Twitter popped for me because it's like like I don't take a lot of photos of shit in general, and then like
Mm,
photos of me, it's like the only time people take photos of me are when we're playing shows. I'm screaming. It's like
mm.
it's pretty hard to look like fucking hot when you're screaming. It's like I'm red, I'm sweaty, like I'm
That's
making a weird ass face because I'm yelling.
mm,
So I'm just like I don't put too much emphasis on like Instagram or anything like that.
right.
So Twitter made sense like for me to gravitate towards that, and that's where I have the most reach.
Mm,
So I post a lot of shit on there, but as of lately I haven't. I think like combined with like Elon Musk buying it and it just like what it is now,
right.
it's like really hard to uh it's really hard to like um to want to use it, and like
Yeah.
it's like not enjoyable anymore. You know what I mean? Like my new bit has been like um posting shit and just being like just unrelated and doing a whole like ladies do your thing like shit
Right.
cuz and like I'm like trying to find a way to like make that a bit, but it's like that's all Twitter is. It's like the guy bought it. He's like, we're getting rid of the bots. Like no more porn bots, I swear. And then you like open up Twitter and it's like that's all you fucking see. Like just it's just like porn threads and shit and just like
Mm.
going to fucking you hit like you hit a thread and it's just like people like you post anything, it's just people responding being like, wait, like are you looking for like a sugar daddy or mama? And it's just like dude, like you ruined this fucking site. Like this used to be the
What,
forefront of the internet. Like
what,
this was like
right.
ground zero for everything. Like it was like you'd see shit on there, what's happening in the world before
Mm,
like before the news, before
right.
anyone else got it. Like that's
Right. What's like the
and
most to tell what you're saying? Have you like real request? What's like the craziest real request you've gotten, not from a bot, from like a person that you have no idea who they are, probably, and you're just like, what the fuck even is this question?
well, I mean, honestly, not there hasn't been too many.
That's
Like,
good.
um,
That's rare.
usually it's a lot of like, you know, do you like what do you charge to do like guest vocals, like stuff like
Oh,
that,
that's
which
the
is like, I mean,
dirtiest thing to ask
like
always.
that's exactly right. That's it's a faux pas, but yeah, but like
Right.
yeah, it's usually just like a lot of that, and then a lot of people like kind of messaging me being like, my cat died too. And I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
sorry. It sucks. I miss mine
Yeah.
probably more
Is
than you
that
do, but
like,
whatever.
because I know that's a very
But
public thing, obviously, too, with what happened with your
yep.
cat, which again, rest in peace. I still love that the music video of Whispers, like seeing that and just seeing like
Yeah,
it,
it was the best.
yeah, no, that's like you guys do sick videos, especially the new stuff from the
I mean,
EP.
I
But
would say like they're all pretty bad, honestly. So for me, it's like
okay,
best music videos. It's like, yeah, you got Whispers
yeah,
uh, and then like the Martyr Lamb
right,
video, and then the rest are just like, whatever, fuck
vibe.
it.
Well,
Like
but yeah,
some of
well,
them are fine. Some of them are just like dog
mm,
shit. And, but
well, with that too, because again, I know that stuff's like, is it almost more helpful or more like too much at points with people, especially like years, like a year. I don't know, it's been like a year or something since I know your cat passed. Like with
yep,
people still, I'm sure you get like DMs randomly, just like, yeah, dude, I miss my cat too, and like,
for
yeah,
sure. It's like, I think when it did happen, um, at first it was a lot, and
right,
like at first it was like it was very very sweet, and like in like I've got like a shrine to him like in the
right,
apartment, and it's like photos and of like people like hand drawn stuff, collage stuff, stuff people have put together, like all of these like amazing gifts that I've got for like that people have made to like celebrate him, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
they're amazing. Like I've got them still. I've kept every single one. Like they're on display. Uh, but I think then like after a little while, it was like, you know, because I and it's like, I don't mean it in like
mm,
in a negative way, but when people are trying to, when I would meet people like at shows or whatever, and it's like I'm walking around,
right,
like just walking through the venue, like going to the front to pick up like the Uber Eats I ordered.
right,
you get just like a shitload of people just coming up being like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, and then going into their stories about like their cat
Right.
and,
It's
and
probably
all of
heavy.
that stuff.
Like very
Like,
heavy.
it is like, and, and while I'm glad that, people, people would be like, yeah, that song's like helped me a lot. Like whether it's their cat or like something else or like a, relative or like a
Mm.
human that they lost or something, a different type of animal, whatever it may be. I think that like that's really cool. And I like that it can sort of bring people together and sort of make it, it like it forms a connection between me and people. So it's like, even though we're strangers, it's like there's this like, there's
Right.
like a similarity that we share and that we can, you know, like expand upon and stuff. But I think that just like the volume of it and just also like just me, it was like kind of a whirlwind of a bunch of stuff. It was like I was obviously still going through it and still grieving.
Yeah.
And then, having to kind of like, when people were talking to me about their experiences and what's happened with them, I sort of felt like, okay, like I need to be there for these people because
Right.
like and I try to be, and it's like the least I can do, right? Like
Mm.
they're into the band, they're coming to the show, they're giving me money, it's like, yeah, I can listen.
Mm.
But I think that got um it was just like it ended up being a lot,
Mm.
and then having to play the song every night and everything, and it
Mm.
just kind of got to a point where I was like, I like, not that I don't want to be like dead cat guy, you know what I
Gee,
mean?
that's the
But I'm
most
just like,
fucked up sentence I've
but
ever
like,
heard. But yeah, I
but
got you.
yeah, but like at the same time, I'm just like, like it, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like taxing to be that,
Yeah.
and eventually I was just like, look, like, I don't think I want to talk about it anymore. I talked about it in the lyrics, talk about it on
Yeah.
stage. Like, thank you if you can relate to the song. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like it's really cool. It also really sucks.
Mm.
So I'm sorry about that, and I'm glad that, and for anyone that like has listened to it, and can relate to it and
Mm.
feel about it, like feel a certain way about it. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I could help in some way. But it just got to be like a lot, and then it would be like every day on tour of like people
Yeah.
telling me shit, and and for the most part it was normal, but then you'd have some people just being like, yeah, like my cat died too, like I just let him outside and he got like smoked by a fucking car and I like
Yeah.
found him in
It's
pieces, or
it's
like,
heavy,
yeah,
dude.
coyote got him or
Yeah,
something, and
that's a
shit like
lot
that.
when
And
you're
I'm
I mean on tour too is its own fun hell. But
right,
like,
yeah,
and then
and it's like,
yeah.
and I was usually, it's like I was on tour, I was usually fucking wasted,
Mm.
like not able to sort of like manage my feelings
Right.
properly,
Which, but
all of that
I know you
shit.
did a post about being sober, and congratulations,
Yep.
dude. Like that's
Thank
it's
you,
not
thank you.
fucking easy, regardless of like the drug, right? Like it's not an easy
For
thing
sure,
to
yeah.
deal with,
I
man.
feel like
And
I
yeah.
feel like I got off the hook a little bit.
Mm.
Um, for me, yeah, it was literally like, I mean, I knew I needed to like cut back. I was like, yeah, I'm partying too much on tour, like drinking way too much. But
Mm.
then the LCBO went on strike here, and it
Oh
was like,
my
well,
God.
it's like,
Yes.
well, you can get beer from the grocery store, and I was like, I fucking hate beer. Like
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I hate the way beer tastes, and
I
you
do
have to
too.
drink so much of it
It
to get
tastes like
drunk.
it's
I was
just
like, no
I
way.
don't want to taste a cardboard. I don't want to taste wood. I don't want to eat a
Nah,
fucking tree,
it's
dude. Like it's not what
and
it
like,
is.
and if it's bad, like
Mm-hmm.
like if it's gonna be bad, like then give me the thing that fucks me up the fastest. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why would I have like 10 beers if I can have like 2 shots of Everclear or something,
Right.
straight rubbing alcohol, and then get to that level? It's like I'm not drinking any of this for the taste. It's like, nah, I'm getting like, I want to get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a big thing on tour. It's not anymore, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
But then, that just combined with everything, and being exhausted from tour and all of that, and then like me being so mad at people for they could like, they would come up and it's like, oh, like I feel bad that you lost your pet,
Right.
but also people being like, yeah, I just let him outside, and I'm like, don't let your cat outside, like
Right.
that's
It's
your fault.
frustrating. That's
You know what I mean?
frustrating.
But
Yeah.
like, I'm like, not that I'm gonna say that to somebody and be like,
Mm.
oh, if only you like kept your cat inside, he'd probably still be alive.
Right.
Like, but that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, don't let your fucking cat out. Like, whatever, you want to take him out on a little leash or something, go nuts. But I'm like, yeah, like that could have been prevented. You know what I mean? And I'm on the other end being like, I never let my cat out. I was, obsessed with him. I only cared about his health. Like, I'm spending $20,000 trying to save him from on something that's probably not even going to work. And it's like motherfuckers are just like opening the door and being like, hope he comes back. I don't know. Last time he was gone for a week.
No,
and it's like, what? Like,
that's heavy, dude. I could never imagine. Like that's a lot of heavy. Again, you're dealing, and then people come and deal, which I again is like I'm sure at some points like a little helpful therapy to also with other, but then it's like a lot. It's overwhelming, and then also like I understand. Yeah, if you need to like kind of escape from reality a bit, and do what you gotta do. So like, dude, like like congratulations. Like that's a big fucking thing, and you're funny as fuck no matter what, which is the great. That's the thing with you. Some people are only funny when they're like,
you're like, I'm not as funny.
You're
now. I genuinely feel like, like even like one of my good friends, Shrem, he's like Sleep Tokens TM. Like he's an Australian guy, like one of my good friends. Whenever I go to Australia, it's like we would do this like schoolies shit, which is like kind of their like spring break.
Okay.
And we'd go and it would just be like last time we were at his house for like a week and just got like blasted every night, like basically just like going on a bender.
Yeah.
But even he like messaged me being like, he was like he's like, yo, like you just like don't post on Twitter anymore. Like, do you stop drinking? And I'm like, yeah.
That's such a fucked up
He's like, yeah, I could tell. And I'm like, he's like, good for you. Yeah, I could definitely tell something was up though. And I'm like, yeah, like, cause, and I think it's just cause shit doesn't like it doesn't like, I don't have like a lot of like up and down, crazy, polarizing reactions anymore to the need to where I like want to post about it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, some things like, the other day, like at the airport, like trying to get our carnet stamped or whatever, I'm like, this whole thing pisses me off.
Right.
I can say something funny about it, but I think, like the like new sense of like emotional regulation that comes from not being drunk all the time.
Right.
It's kind of like, damn, maybe I'm not as funny as I used to be. And even on stage, like talking in between songs now, it's like, it's definitely awkward and I definitely have to get used to it, but like it's just a little bit weird trying to think of like shit to say. I mean, I still make my jokes and it's like funny and stuff, but
you're funny as you're funny as fuck, dude.
But thank you, thank you. But
have you ever thought about doing like just random, not necessarily like stand up, but like musician stand up in some capacity with like, again, I mean, you and Craig, I know are going to do the downbeat thing, which isn't necessary. I don't think is kind of like you guys doing a sketch.
That's sort of getting our feet wet a little bit with it. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want to see how that goes. I mean, that was kind of always my thing, like still is, you know what I mean? Like in between songs and shit, it's like, well, it's like, you've got a couple options. I either don't say anything and it's just like weird, or I do like vocalist guy shit and just be like, all right, like, are you guys fucking ready? Like fucking clap your hands, like, all that shit. And I'm like, I do not have it in me to fucking do that.
You can't do tough guy hardcore energy.
Like, well, and the tough guy shit, it's like, I don't know. I think Counterparts is it's a different type of tough guy. It's not like, oh, like I'll fight you and win. It's like,
it's emotionally tough.
No, like I'll blow my brains out in front of you.
Right.
Like I don't care. Like it's a different level of tough. It's like, oh, I don't care what happens to me.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not even fighting back. Like, please shoot me with a fucking gun. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like, it's a little bit awkward now between songs for sure. But it's never really been, if anything, it's like, I don't know if I'm necessarily like nicer, but just in between, I'm just like, yeah, what up? Thanks for coming. Like, appreciate it. I'm like, yeah, like I said, it's less, like, it's less like jarring to whether it's like, I'm either really nice and really like appreciative or the total opposite. And I don't like people having to like try and decipher like, okay, well, every day on this tour, he's like called the crowd stupid and ugly and poor and all of this shit. And then at this show, he was really nice.
It's just that combo I didn't expect.
Well, I mean, that's like that is, I mean, all things I have done and said in the past. But
I feel
it's
most
like,
people, like, again, even like crowds find that funny. It's because they're not used to that either,
sure.
right? Like you're probably one of the few dudes that'll be
Exactly.
like, "What the fuck? None of you are like moving. Like, go
Yep.
do something. Like, why am I
sure.
here? You know?"
And that's why I started doing it, because I was
Right.
like, we would, because like when we started doing shit, we started touring a lot. It was like, we started, like, we wanted to play music because, you think about like the early 2000s trust kill bands and shit, and like
Yep.
seeing those bands and stuff. And then metalcore as a term sort of took on a different meaning in like 2000, like the 2010s, like when we graduated high school and shit and started touring. And it was just like, you know, all of a sudden people, it's like, it was like kind of like fake and shit. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, you would have, it was like, yeah, like fucking like rip knee, run on the spot, like V-neck fucking, that was like metalcore.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
it went from
like the crabcore shit.
the evolution was the early fucking whatever 90s 80s, which was whatever the cool OG just breakdowns, and then dude the early 2000s, which I don't know if it's your favorite too, like the melodic metalcore kind of era, like Kill Switch, fucking
Kill Switch, Misery Signals, Poison the Well, like all of that. Those bands, it was like, it was like, yeah, this is like, I guess it, like the term metalcore, it was like, yeah, like, metal and hardcore, it's both. And it was like, yes. And then after a little while, it was like, I'm like, is there like a hardcore element to these bands? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm
That
thinking about
full
like
crabcore.
your like All Stars tour, all of that stuff. It's like, well, where is the hardcore element? Because it's like the music is like not like, yeah, sure, they have like the breakdown side of things, but it's like that guy's like, there's keyboard, that guy's singing in fucking auto tune, like whatever, and then and then it's like, oh, like the half the shit's like fake, you know what I mean? It's like the shit, it's like all tracks and stuff, and coming from, oh, hey, our bass is fucking tracked, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a bass player, but it's like, at least we're not like pretending.
You should use Nocturnal bass if you need a bass track.
That there's a bass. True.
Got you.
But
well, yeah,
but,
it went to crabcore.
It was just like, where's the hardcore in this?
It's back now, which is cool, because it full circle. Like, we went crabcore, and then we went gencore.
Is it?
Gencore was, well, okay. Now there's just so many subsets, right? Like, there's like,
that's true.
There's, I guess crabcore has actually probably fucking finally died, but that, like, gencore is kind of now the main modern metalcore kind of thing, right?
It evolves when
to
you think about.
But then there's bands like the what is it, Boundaries, Dying Wish, a lot of kind of like newer bands like that, and then there's like the weird, like, okay, is it hardcore or metalcore, like Knock Loose? Like, I don't fucking know. Kind of, it sounds more like Converge to me than it does like a hardcore punk band. So
true, but I would argue that's more metalcore than the others. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that is a true blend of metal and hardcore. You know what I mean? Which, but yeah, when we when we started doing that shit, it was like we were touring with like fucking. Or, it'd be like, oh, Counterparts is going to play the Toronto date, the All Stars tour. And we were just like, it's just like watching all these bands, and it's just like, this shit's like fucking fake. And like these, like a lot of these bands like pretend, it's like, oh, they're so fucking, it's like they pretend that they're huge. And it's like, there's like fucking 50 people. It's like, what, like, and they got the voice, like the vocalist voice, like, this is our favorite city to play, like that shit. And it just hit me. And I was like, I don't want to do any of this. I'm like, if the crowd fucking sucks, like, I'm just going to tell you that you suck. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's how you can tell with me, is to, if it's like during a song and I'm like, move your ass, like, you're pissing me off. It's like, I'm kidding around. Like, that's like I'm hyping you guys up type shit. But if it's like between songs and I'm like, yo, like, this show actually fucking sucks. Like, we got like 3 left. Like, let's get this over with. This fucking bites. It's like, oh, I'm not kidding. Like, there's not a bit there.
There's not a
if
bit.
I'm yelling it and it's like, I'm doing the thing and like laughing when I do it, sure. Like, then it's like, yeah, you're poor, you're ugly, fucking whatever. Like, but when it's like, and I've done it so many times where I've just actually just been like, all right, like, we got 2 left. Like, let's fucking get this over with. Like, this shit sucks. And I'm like, and you know, and then it's like, because I don't have it in me to like put on the show thing and sort of like fucking, you know, like like get into it. It's like I can't get into it. Like y'all gotta fucking like, if I'm not having fun, it's like I can't fake it. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense, man. And,
so
and you're real as fuck, because like that's not common. That's like, it's not.
Yeah, you
it's
know?
not like most managers in general would just be like that, like insta panic mode if they heard like shit. Like they'd be like, "What the?" You get still with Tom, I'm assuming, right? Or,
yeah. Tom's
because Tom's funny as fuck. How many times does Tom? It probably doesn't care anymore, right? Because he's just used to it. But like, maybe when you guys were starting to work
there's
together,
been times
where Tom is even just like, yo.
Yeah, there's times where I'll post something, not in like not in like a while, I think, but like there's been times where I've gotten like, you know, I've like hit like tweet or whatever on Twitter, and then it's like 2 seconds later just getting a fucking getting a text just being like, bro, come on, like,
bro, come on, that's all you need.
And I'm like, fine, you know, but but it doesn't like it doesn't happen often. And like also at the same time, it's like probably not going to post anything that's going to like you know, actually affect my band's career, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not trying to be like,
you're funny,
don't give me fucking money, you know, it's all a joke. Like
you're funny, but also you're genuine. So even what you're saying online, and again, I love that you say it both with like your personal profile and then with Counterparts too, because I feel like I'm sure some people think they're talking to like you versus, and then they talk to like they comment on the Counterparts thing, and then they're like, you know, whatever talking, and then you're like, no, yo, I'm right here, like what's up, like what's
and it's like, if you get a response, like it's probably me, you know what I mean? Like if you ask like, oh, like, you know, if people post anything like seriously and they're just like, hey, you know, that link isn't working or whatever, and there's like a response being like, oh, check it again, like I think it's working now, like that's probably not me. But you know, people say dumb shit all the fucking time, and I'm like, well, like that was the other thing too. It's like when we would do that, I was just like, so what? Like I just gotta like take this. Like if someone's like like lipping me off on the internet, and it's like, oh, they're like a fan of the band, so I just have to like sit there and take it. Like someone being like, oh, like new record fucking sucks, like whatever. Or like it happened the other day, like we announced our tour, and someone's just like, this lineup fucking sucks in my opinion, like all this shit. And I'm just like, do I have to like take that? Like, and then so I like years and years ago, I just started being like, blow it out your ass. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, don't come then. And that was a whole thing. And people were like, you can't talk to fans like that. And I'm like, why not?
I think
there's started it.
There's
like,
definitely
they
like cases of like intense fan energy with like some bands, but like you guys are always so like, even like when it's like a clap back in a way, like, you know, hey, like check yourself. You guys always do it. You always do it in a funny way that like, I'm sure most of the time, if anything, you probably get oh, yo, sorry, bro. Actually, I really love Counterparts. You know what I mean? Like that's
honestly, yeah. And the like, I mean, the main thing is kind of like, you know, like I get so there, like everything's a fucking bit. So there's been so many bits to where it's like I've lost track, and people will like, you know, they'll like like say something or whatever, and I'm just like, what are you talking about, you fucking idiot? And they're like, dude, like, remember, like you said this, like remember, and I'm like, oh, my bad. Like I've lost, like I can't even keep track of like the recurring bits that I have on the internet. I'm just like, oh, sorry, I thought you were like being serious type shit. And it's like that happens all the time. But
do you guys or your close
funny,
homies
you know?
ever like, I don't, pranks isn't the right word maybe, but you guys ever like really intensely like kind of fuck with each other in a really funny way, at least on tour, or like for like a long lasting like bit with each other that even you're like, that was good, you know, like that's
usually, like, I don't know about long lasting, but we usually, every tour that we do, there's like some sort of like bit to it. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it happens and it exists like for that tour. And then like, that's kind of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like when I like, there's been so many, it's like hard to, it's like, yeah, like hard to to think of them off the top of my head, but we have so many like, where it's like, oh yeah, like that, like, oh, on that tour, like that's when you guys were really into like talking like nights, like old timey, like old English shit. Like that's when
Right.
you guys were like doing that for whatever reason. And like, that's when like, and then like stuff with us and like Varials or whatever. And it's like, oh, like the neighbor stuff and like everybody eats shit and like all that stuff. It's like, and it happens for a tour and then
Right.
we forget about it. And then it's like, you know, it kind of goes away. But there's been so many like bits and they're just out of nowhere, right?
Right.
Like, but it's it's fun, like
Right.
gives you something to do. Like I mean, I don't know why we started talking like nights all of a sudden, but it was like that was one. Like there was a like we were like anti-Dracula for a while. I don't know how that started. I think it was like on
You
Warped
can't,
Tour
dude.
or
You can't
something.
throw anti-Dracula out of context like that.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what I mean? Like we were just like
just
it
like,
was like a like treating
right.
treating it like he's a real guy, just being like we don't fuck with him.
Like
Like we
did you
don't
have garlic on you the whole time,
like
or like,
yeah, like we would say shit like that, right? Like or it'd be like, yo, like we can't ever do like a meet and greet because like what if he shows up? Like we don't want him around. Like we don't fuck what with what he does.
we
You
don't,
know what I mean?
we're
Like
not
we don't
about the
like
Dracula life.
drinking people's blood like kind of sucks. Like don't fucking do that. You know what I mean? Like just and it's like the dumbest fucking shit, but we
Right.
yeah, we thrive on it and they just like they go on for way longer than they should.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just these stupid little throwaway jokes and like it becomes part of it. Like
Right.
we had like the what like I can't remember what it was. I was like I was trying to get everybody on the last headliner. I was trying to get everybody on board. I started telling people that one of the venues had like there was like there's like a shower in the venue
Right.
and I walked by the shower
Mm-hmm.
and Emma was in there singing Old Town Road at the top of her lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told everybody about that. And it did not happen. Like I just made it up, but it was just like, yeah, like I was like, yeah, that's gotta be like her. And this is like years after the song was
Right.
popular too. And just being like, yeah, she like loves Old Town Road. Like
Right.
she like, cause like people sing in the shower, like she's just singing Old Town Road. Like it's so
So
fucking
years
weird.
later,
Like, did you
people
guys
just
hear
find
that?
out things that you've randomly gaslit
Yes.
in like a really funny way to other
Yes.
people, and then
For-
one of their
for
friends
sure.
go like, and like has everyone bought a gift because they thought someone else liked something because of some random bullshit for the person, and
Oh
then
fuck me.
that's a full
Maybe.
circle right there. That's a like bring it all the way.
I'm sure it's happened, but I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
Right. Well,
but yeah, just like
speaking
just
of
dumb
tours,
shit, you know?
speaking of tours, you just came off the. Well, it's. I guess you guys were there for like the few days, but I mean, it's a sick fucking tour. Dude, how was the Knock Loose? Fucking. How many shows?
Good.
3, 2,
Yeah.
1?
No, it was so we did we like pure I guess like they're on their tour and they did like Pure Noise did the Vegas show the day before when we were young.
Okay.
And it was just like the Pure Noise 15-year anniversary. And so, yeah, we got added to that like last minute.
Right.
I think it was like the Chisel dropped or something. And it was like, we need another band. And then they just asked us, they're like, will you guys do it? And I'm like, whatever. And then the same sort of thing happened
Right.
with the show in Florida a couple days ago. It's just like, I think we got the call, like, I think the EP came out Thursday. It's been out for like a week. I think it's like the EP
Yes.
came out Thursday last week. And on Tuesday, Tom called me and it was like, and
Oh shit!
this is
on
like
Tuesday.
yeah, like it was very quick. And it was like, so this whole time too, it's like the EP's coming out on Thursday and it's like, we're getting shit where it's like, like we might have to do a fucking clean edit of the video. We're gonna need a content warning, like all of this shit, like all this other stuff is like happening and Tom's calling me to tell me these things.
Right.
And so I just get another call from him
Right.
and I'm just like, what? Like, what is it now?
Right.
And he's just like, can you guys play this Knocked Loose show in Florida? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm down. I'm not doing anything. Ask the
Right.
rest of the guys. And
Hard.
everybody can do it. And it was like, yeah, like, and then I was just like, cool. I've got the Air Canada website up. Just let me know when to hit like purchase on the tickets, and we're good. And then
Expedia, you go straight to Air Canada. You don't Expedia.
No, we're all on our fucking airplane point shit now. We got the airplane credit card, 2 airplane credit cards. We all got the status.
You got it down, dude. You got a lot.
Yeah, you got it. We fly so much, and you get all those free bags and shit, and like the priority bags and fucking lounge access, all that shit. It's like for the amount of flights we're taking, it's like you gotta.
What's the deal with? I feel like I'm excited. What's the deal with every time people you get on a plane now, and all the baggage is filled on the carry-ons, but they book it like as if you can bring your stuff there, and then they always like, well, it's booked if you want to drop it off. Like what? That's like a recent few years ago thing. What the fuck is that?
It is. Yeah. I don't know for sure, but yeah, every single flight that I've taken in the last little while, it's been like getting on there, and it's like you're at the gate, and the announcement comes on, and it's like, we have a full flight today, so we don't have room for everyone's checked bags. And it's like, okay, like skill issue. Like what the fuck? Like, what is that?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like, oh, we didn't anticipate having like enough people in the seats for the plane, and because of that, now there's too like there's
we
gonna
didn't
be too many bags.
expect the sold out flight to be sold out. Sorry guys, there's too many sold out people here. Yeah, we don't have a room for a sold out flight.
Exactly. It'd be different if it was like, we actually sold like 50 more 50 more tickets, and like some people are gonna have people sitting on their lap, but it's like the allotted space for everybody, so that way if every ticket gets purchased, there's this much room. Like, we hit it. It's not enough. It's like, okay, you didn't plan properly. But for the most part, I will say it is kind of nice lately, as we've just been checking into flights, like before security and shit like that. Like we've just been asking them like, yo, like, can we just check our carry-ons now? And they're like, yeah, sure. Like we can check so it's like, we have our like fucking 20 checked bags that we have, and then everyone's got like a duffel bag.
So you're the reason that we can't put our fucking check bags in. That's.
I mean, the check bags are fine, the carry-on shit, but it's like, but yeah, we just ask it like just straight up. It's like, well, yeah, like might as well fucking check it. Then I don't have to. Like,
you gotta do that with venues now. Like, sorry guys, like the show's sold out. No one can bring in their phones. There's not enough space in the phone. Like,
you can't.
You got to sell it right now.
Nothing in your pockets except like credit cards or money.
There's no space. You're gonna be
a vape if you vape.
You can keep the vape, but like credit cards, phones, like wallets, no, you're gonna be so close.
Yeah,
people
just
are gonna
leave
get
them, leave them out.
It's a danger issue. Like it's a hazard here.
Yeah, and like that's like it is like I'm seeing people comment. It's like, it is kind of like overselling venues. It's just like, why did you make the plane too small? It's like, if there's this many seats on a plane, just assume that, everybody gets one carry-on for free on every flight, pretty much. It's like, okay, why didn't you budget that much space? So that way, like, if let's just say everybody brings one carry-on, there's room for it. And it's like, and like they're like on the intercom being like, yep, like we're, if anything, like we're gonna have to check other stuff, like the flight's full, stuff might not fit. And I'm like, like, that ain't my problem, man. I'm like,
figure it out, Air Canada.
That's a you problem.
Fucking Air Canada, dude. What are they doing, dude?
It's like, all the money we spend on fucking flights, like flights are ridiculously expensive now. It's like, you can't come up with a solution for this. Like, my bad.
It's not happening.
Oh, are you spending it on the food that you give us in the lounge? Like, our fucking cookies that much money? Like,
cookies that expensive, dude. Not if you go to Costco. Not if you go to fucking Costco.
True.
Have you? I learned about
the lounge is good for the booze, but not for me anymore. But that was it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That would be like, going into the lounge being like, I'm getting my money's worth for sure. Like going in and just being like, cool. All right. Like I can be in there for an hour. I can probably get like 12 shots in me before I go sit on the plane.
I'm glad you're sober. Congratulations on that. That's the. Have you? I learned about this randomly recently. You've toured in Europe. the toilets there in is they got some okay.
Yeah.
You know the situation.
Yeah,
okay.
some places. Some places have the weird toilets. Like it'll be I think in certain spots like I remember like Italy, Spain, some places like they'll have the like squat toilets where it's like kind of like a hole in the ground and like little places to put your feet and you just like squat and do your thing. Seen those really jarring if you like have to go to the bathroom and you're not used to that.
Right.
But it's like a skill check almost. It's like cool, like let's see how long I can hold it, like because I'm definitely not using that fucking thing. And then some of the other places, like I think it's like I can't remember if it's like I think it's Austria or some shit where it's like they have like the shelf in the toilet.
That's what. So that's I saw a picture, not of the shelves feces, but like of a toilet, and I was like, this is the wrong toilet. Like this is not real. Like this is some weird AI generation. And then it's like, oh, it's real. Like this is you have a shelf for
sure.
the waste, and there's
and literally to inspect it. Like someone said like gotta check your poop before you flush. Like that's what it's actually for. Like it's so that way, wild, I guess to check and see if there's something wrong with you, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, like you got your like at least if it hits water, like then you got an ozone, kind of blocks the smell a little bit. Like, and like for the most part, like water's pretty clear. Like I think if there's blood in it or something, I can like make it out in water. You know what I mean? Like what if I like when I go swimming, it's not like you know what I mean? It's like like half his fucking body just disappeared. It's like yo, you can see it, but yeah, like
it's a situation.
I don't know.
It's a situation.
Yeah, there's so much shit in Europe. I saw somebody in the chat be like, "Why does he hate Europe?" It's like there's just so much shit that's like, it's just different, but in like a really annoying way. Right. And it's just like there's enough of those little things to like I get pissed off when I'm there. Like, truck stop in the middle of the night, it's like fuck, okay, cool, like I have to go to the bathroom, and then you forget, and then you're in Europe and you're like, oh fuck, well I need like 70 cents because otherwise there's a turnstile and I can't get into the bathroom. So it's like, oh shit, like weird little things like that, and it's just like shit that you're not thinking of. Like you're not trying to get like a 50 and 20 cent fucking coin because you have to take a shit or something. You know what I mean? It's like you're just running to a bathroom. And it's like, I get it. The trade-off is that they use the money to like clean the bathrooms more, and they're cleaner, and they're never out of toilet paper.
Maybe they're more dirty because people can't pay the toll and they can't wait, so they got to just they got to figure it out.
And I mean that could be it.
It's an endless hateful circle here, Brendan. There's no winning.
It is, and there's and I will say Europe's gotten a lot better for us in terms of the shows and the crowd and stuff. It's like now when we go there, it's like, like, and I mean, I would go as far as to say is like, for the most part, the show is sick. Like, it's like, I'm, like, there's definitely some places where I'm just like, I do not want to fucking play there ever again. But those places exist in Canada and the States too. You know what I mean?
Definitely in Canada.
But, but like, like I'm not trying to play fucking Thunder Bay ever again. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather play in Germany. You know what I mean?
Do you have a favorite venue in Toronto? Have you been to History yet? Drake's venue?
Yeah. We did History with Prada and Fit for a King at the beginning of the year. Oh, that's that was like honestly like really nice venue. Yeah, like
History goes
like
hard.
real sick. I think like area wise not like not that it's a bad area. It's just like it's just far. Like
it's very random. Like it's past downtown, right? It's like, and it's just this like
in the
space.
Beaches. Like it's just like everybody I know that lives in Toronto, their reaction is always the same. Like they're like, oh, it's a fucking History. Like great. You know what I mean? And it's like it's. You know what I mean? It's people are just like, I'm not going all the way out there. It's fucking annoying. And I'm like, I get it. But if we're talking like venue,
right?
It's up there. I think my favorite, like if we're talking, yeah, like we're talking like the inside of the venue
Yeah.
specifically, like probably London Music Hall. That's like
Oh
the sickest
shit.
venue.
London Music Hall
I
sick.
like, and like I like playing in London. Like the shows are good, but it's like, you know, yeah, it's not like the sickest fucking market by any means, but like for us it is, so I'll take it.
Mm,
But but yeah, like I when I think about like good venues where it's like
mm,
the venue itself rocks, sound is fucking awesome,
right.
green rooms are sick, like there's showers, there's parking, like all of that
Right.
stuff. It's like music hall checks every box.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Dude, the Sneaky
it's
D's is
sick, you
Sneaky
know?
D's still going in Toronto?
Yeah, yeah. I like I walked. Like, I think there was a show going on there like last week. Remember walking by with my girlfriend, and I was just like, I'm so glad that I probably never have to load up these fucking stairs,
Oh,
up and down
dude,
these
fuck
stairs
the Sneaky
ever
D's
again
stairs. So
in my life.
bad. So
Like
kind of
that.
dangerous too. Like it's not. There's no
Yeah,
space to go up the stairs in Sneaky D's. It makes no sense.
it's really not.
Yeah.
And like you'd think any like most venues with stairs, it's like, okay, yeah, if you can kind of make it easy, it's like, what if you just get like a back line there?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, people can bring their drums up and shit, but it's like two Orange or Mesa cabs and an Ampeg 810, like
Not
just
happening.
leave them on the stage. And
Yeah.
then everyone will be like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'll use those. I'm not bringing my stuff up
Yeah.
fucking stairs. But, yeah, it's nice now that I think like at the level that we're at, like
Hmm.
while we still definitely play fucking dumps, for the most part, like most venues are pretty,
Hmm.
it's like, okay, this is pretty sick.
Well,
Like
that's
it's
sick, dude.
it's decent,
Well, you guys have
So
been going for so long, and again, I got to give you guys mad respect for that, but also being consistent, and again, just like being fucking real, dude. That's something that you yourself,
yeah,
I mean, are obviously, I guess, the most like the face of the band in that capacity. Obviously, in terms
yeah,
of like
yeah,
you're the loudest socially about the band, so
for
like
sure.
is the
Yeah,
best way to put it. But doing that for so many
definitely.
years is something that's fucking wild, especially in the metalcore scene.
Yep.
And going on how many years is it? 20? You guys at 20 yet?
Uh, fuck, um, what year is it? 2024?
24, yeah.
Yeah, we started. I would, so like the thing is, it's like the band started, like me and Jesse
Right.
started Counterparts in like 2007, but it was like we were still, you know, 2 years away from graduating high school, so it's not like we could like tour
I
and
got
do
you.
it full time. Um, in my mind, I kind of see it as like, yeah, the band really started like to be like doing shit and relevant for like from Hell and Home onward. You know what I mean? It was like cool. Like that was the kind of like that was like I think second Victory release and shit. And it was just like that's kind of like 2013. That's kind of around the time when we were like, yeah, we're doing this full time. This is a thing. So
Right.
by those standards, what like 11 years, but yeah, overall, I guess, yeah, like 17 years, I think. So
Damn, dude. Well, with
yeah, it's
that,
been a minute.
and I guess I feel like me and you could talk about random shit forever, especially Canadian random shit either, bud.
For
But
sure.
to bring it all, we got to talk a little bit, obviously, about the EP a bit more. Heaven Let Them Die. Like,
Yeah.
it's heavy as fuck. It's probably the most, I almost want to say, like, aggressively raw release you guys have ever done in the
Yeah.
in the case of
I
like,
think so. Yeah.
here's an EP, here's an ass beater, crazy, like, holy shit. What was, I know you talked about like the surprise release aspect, but what was, I guess, the more writing, music man fucking portion of all
Yeah.
that?
So we like we had booked time with Will. And I think like when we had booked it, I don't remember when it was, but we recorded it in July
Mhm.
at Will's house, and it was like we when we booked the time, it was like cool. We have 2 weeks, like let's just see what's up, like
Right.
whatever, like 3-4 song EP. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat here, like. I don't think people are talking about our record. Like album's not out yet. Ours has been out. I
No,
don't
they're talking
know
about Linkin Park. they're,
Oh, okay.
they're
I
because
thought like,
we're doing
oh
a
well,
mid.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't fucking know about that one.
we're doing midnight, getting a, just getting
Okay, okay.
stupid and want
All
listening to
right.
Linkin Park. No, that's separate. Because people are here from
Yep.
the British land, so they're like, it's midnight right now,
Okay.
Nick. Guess what? It's not midnight in America
Yep.
or in Canada.
Yep.
So
Or in Canada.
yeah, buddy. So
Yeah,
fucking,
okay, that makes sense because I saw people just being like, "Oh, like someone's like a VPN, you can listen to it." I'm like, if they mean ours, like ours is out. Like you don't need shit to listen.
it's out right
like,
now, dude. You don't even need LimeWire. Like, come on, dude. It's 2024.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's on SoulSeek. You're good. But
That's a good one.
but yeah, we
Right.
so we had these like couple weeks like booked with Will to go and do something. We didn't know what we were gonna do. I think at that point we probably had like to my understanding, I thought I was like, yeah, we've probably got like 2 or 3 demos written.
Right.
Maybe we can do a couple more, see what happens. And then we get to the studio and it's like everybody was just churning shit out. It was like Jesse had like 17 fucking demos, like Kyle had a bunch, Tyler had a bunch, and it was just like, oh fuck. So like we're in there and I'm just like, damn, like if we had booked a month, we probably could have done a full length.
Gotcha.
But we were like, nah, I mean, like classic Will schedule. It's like, we got there as like fucking, yeah, I think it was like Stray was finishing up, and then it was like 2 weeks with us, and then Poison the Well was in after, and it was just like all this shit. And it was just like, well, we've got 2 weeks, so like let's do what we can in 2 weeks. And we narrowed it down to 5 songs, and we were like, okay, 5, and then like let's do an outro thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we ended up with 6. And yeah, I mean, we all kind of like we all had the mindset of like, let's do some heavy shit, or like I guess not even necessarily heavy, just like let's do, like we're talking about it, and we're playing these shows and trying to come up with set lists and stuff, and it's like, oh, like like you look on Spotify or whatever, like the artist app, and it's like, what are our most streamed songs and shit, and it's like you look at them and we're like trying to come up with a set list, and we're like, dude, every time, like that's like our most streamed song, like every time we play that, it fucking sucks. Like it's a dud. Like nobody sings along, no one moves, it's just people like staring.
Right.
And we're like, well, what the fuck? And then so with this, like our mindset was just like, let's just do an EP of like shit that's going to be fun for us to play live,
Right.
like fun for people to like see, and just like, yeah, like, and then it just naturally, it became this like, okay, well, how do people have fun live? Like singing along, moshing,
Right.
like that's how we gauge it. You know what I mean? Like crowd going crazy. So we were just like, yeah, like let's just do this very short, just fucking heavy thing. Like let's do the heaviest thing we've ever done. And we did it, and it was like, yeah, and it paid off. And
well, it's doing really well, dude.
Like
congrats.
It's doing great.
It's great to have because obviously everyone's rollout now is like a single, and then sometimes you see the singles get all the love, obviously, and then the album drops, even if 6 of the songs of the album are out sometimes, and then the rest of the album you see like the numbers, and you're just like, I'm sad, like it sucks where it's just,
for sure.
You guys dropping a surprise EP like that, like every song is getting love, which must feel really sick because it's not just
and literally in order. Like when you go and look at the plays, it's like Martyr is song 1 and has the most plays, and then fucking Loving Arms has the second most plays. It's like it's in album order.
Yeah, as intended.
So it's like
it's so sad when you have a whole album and you probably put the same amount of love in every song, and then you're just like, okay, well, song 11's fucked. Like you just
and you're like, all right, well, that one's filler. Like people do not give a shit about that one, and we wanted to avoid it, and just and like we wanted to do something different. It's like, we've been like different within reason when I say that, right? It's like I've always been on the thing where it's like we're never gonna like 180 pivot and like do some crazy shit. Like, yeah, this is the heaviest stuff that we've done, but at the same time, it's like it fucking sounds like us. Like it's not like when we were talking about it, I'm like, I don't think this is gonna be this crazy like thing. Like people are gonna hear these songs and be like, who is this? I have no idea who this is.
Well,
It's like,
your vocal,
you
it's so
know,
funny because I know N, so I know your
yeah,
vocals sound like you, but it's really funny on the new Counterparts is your vocals sound more
yeah,
like
it's
your
so many.
vocals in N, and I see that constantly as like a comment of
That
like,
is, yeah.
it's still, how the fuck do you sound different in different bands, but you're still screaming? Like, that's the thing that always shocked
It's
me.
it's like I think it is different. It's like there's to me it's like there's Counterparts voice, which
Yes.
is like the mid, like I'm just yelling at the top of my lungs type
Okay.
shit. And like, I try to sound like the dude from Verse and the guy from Killing the Dream and just like those vocalists
Hmm.
that I love. And then with End, it was like, then I have End voice and it's like
And
that
voice.
middle thing
Yeah.
doesn't exist. It's either like really low or really high, one of the
Okay.
two. And then with this Counterpart stuff, it was like, because I think the closest I get to Counterpart's voice with End is like when I yell Necessary Death in Necessary Death. It's like
Right.
that's like top of my lungs just as hard as I can screaming.
Hmm.
And with Counterparts, like every fucking word is like that.
Hmm.
And so like when it comes to recording, especially like Counterparts stuff is like way harder to record than End is. Like
Gotcha.
going really high or really low is like so fucking easy. Like that shit is easy as hell.
Right.
But like because I don't know what it is. It's like you're changing your voice and shit. But
Hmm.
um just taking your actual talking voice and just yelling as hard as you can, it's like that shit sucks.
That must be taxing
So
too. I mean, like again,
like
like you can obviously do it
you get a
very
migraine,
well.
you're fucking
Right.
it's a fucking mess. But but yeah, like, and so with this one, it was just like we, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do these heavier songs, and it's like, okay, maybe get dipping into like, like lower vocals and doing like the high screams. It's like the parts call for it now, so
Mm.
like let's do it.
Right.
And then yeah, seeing all the like and like like not that it like bums me out, but it's like like I would see a lot of the sounds like end shit or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, you mean me
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
because,
yeah.
but
Exactly.
it's like there's no like I don't think there's anybody who's hearing the new Counterparts EP and being like, this sounds like End. It's like, okay, well, like End is like fucking musically so different, way lower, like
Yeah.
it like there's zero melody to it. It's like there's nothing there.
Zero
And it's
melody.
like so you must be talking about me. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, why does Counterparts and End sound the same from a vocal standpoint? It's like it's the same fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Right.
that's the way my throat formed,
That's
like
how
it's
it
like
does the thing, dude.
I can't, you know, can't change my voice. I'm like, that's, yeah, you're hearing my fucking neck and vocal cords. Like, I don't
Mm.
know. Yeah, of course it sounds the same, but
Mm.
yeah, like doing, and like doing that was, um, you don't want to do it too much, right? Like, it's like,
Right.
I definitely didn't want to be like, yeah, like End exists to scratch that heavier itch for me, that like crust, like the crust punk stuff, the 90s metalcore, like heavy
Mm.
turmoil type shit, and like the grind stuff that I like and all of that. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to have those vocals like on as like a main for Counterparts,
Right.
like like I guess as often, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, but I would always kind of sprinkle them in here and there. And I think, yeah, with the new EP, I've just kind of done it more so.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that was, yeah, like that, that one, like I would see that comment, and then like, but yeah, a bunch of people on the video on YouTube just being like, this looks like the Knock Loose video or whatever, and it's just like, well,
Because it's
like
outside. Like, what the fuck does
like
that mean?
no, it's like visually like looks similar, and it's like, well, Eric Richter did our video, and take a fucking guess who did the Knock Loose ones.
Well,
You know what I
Knock
mean?
Loose
It's just
did
like,
no. Lammy didn't fucking die in Knock Loose, so it's
that's the thing,
yeah,
that was yeah, and it's
that's different.
like that, and like there's all in, it's always a thing. There's always going to be like comparisons and stuff, but
Mm.
for me, I'm just like like I get it, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, it sounds like End. Like, do you specifically mean in No Lamb Was Lost, the
Right.
the verse part where I say like a heartbeat gain cannot replace, one was taken and one remains. I'm like, because yes, that does sound like the verse in Pariah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm with you there. Everything else about it, I'm like, bro, like, I
Has to
tweeted
be,
it. I was like, it's low hanging fruit.
it's the
Like,
vocal tonality, I think, of like that like
for
surprise
sure.
where it's like, holy shit. But
Yep.
Brent, my dude, I have to ask you the most important question here.
Yep.
More important than being Canadian, more
Sure.
important than metalcore, which, let's be real, that's the fucking most important thing in the world.
That's most things are more important, but I feel it.
Well, let's see. What's your favorite K-pop band? Well, no, sorry, not your favorite, because we're gonna do this factually. What is the best K-pop
Yep.
band?
In my opinion, I'm going with Twice.
I've never heard of Twice. Is that Twice?
Yes. Yep. That is Twice behind me.
I realize that's been here this whole time. We've just had such a serious, deep conversation, and I just realized that the Twice girls have been just vibing with this.
Yep. And yeah, to me, I think if I'm like sheer volume of like, I guess like amount of like just songs in general. Like, I mean, Twice has been a band for like, they've been together for like 9 years, I think. Or like, I don't know. I thought it was 9, maybe because there's 9 members, whatever. But yeah, they like, there's so many songs and it's just like, you know, it's overwhelming for sure. But it's like, yeah, you know, when they have like a 200 fucking song catalog, it's like, there's like, if there's more songs, then by all accounts, there's more hits. Than
Would you throw down on like a K-pop banger? Because like a lot of the K-pop bands seem to be doing like more of that baddie, like bad bitch with like some guitars and stuff. Like maybe they need some raws.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, Blackpink hits you up in the DMs. Yo, Brenny, come raw on this shit.
Like without question.
Done.
Like without, yeah, wouldn't like I would. There's not many things I would like prefer.
Right.
Than to do that.
Like, fuck metalcore.
I mean? Like, I definitely don't think it's like, I don't think there's a place for it necessarily. But you never know. I mean, you know, like Spirit Box with Meg Thee Stallion.
That was
like,
crazy.
It exists. Yeah. And on the same record, like that Spirit Box is the same Meg Thee Stallion record that Spirit Box is on. She has a song with Twice. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it's like, there's 1 degree of separation now.
It's right
so
there.
I'm like, all right,
it's right see, there. But... Let's make it happen. Get Brenny featured on the fucking K-pop, and let's just.
I would love to. I mean, it'd be sick. But I also like, yeah, Kenny just took the words out of my mouth. It's like, don't ruin K-pop with end screams. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing is like, I don't think it would be. It'd be really hard to find a place to like fit it.
Would you ever have a K-pop dance crew in the back during a Counterparts show if they offered to do it?
Oh, without question. Yeah, that fucking absolutely.
Okay.
Somebody keeps asking if I saw Misery Signals on the farewell tour. Yeah, and played the New York show. I saw it, and then I went to the show the next day. Yes, I saw it twice. See, it was fucking awesome,
dude. My dude, Brendan, always a pleasure. You know, shooting the shit.
Thank you for having me.
Talking about metalcore Canada, you know, fucking Counterparts, toilets, whatever the fuck, man. Again, chat.
That's pretty much that's a standard day for me in terms of conversation topics.
That makes sense, guys. Brand new Counterparts EP is out right now. Go stream the fuck out of it. Show the homies the love, and be sure to add Brendan on Twitter. On Twitter, obviously. Yeah. And comment only fun. You want jokes or do you want nice comments? Jokes are probably better, right?
Yeah, jokes usually. Yeah, nice comments. Cool, because nice comments, I'm like, fuck. Like, are they fucking with me? Like, if someone's like,
right,
you know, you sound great on the new record. Like, your hair looks good. I'm like, is this like what's this? Like, they fucking with me? Like, why are they being fucking nice? This is weird.
Right.
So you know, jokes are cool.
Jokes are welcome. There you go. Go follow the homies. Yeah. Check out the new Counterparts record. Brandon, dude, thank you so much for coming.
Is this the thing now? Everybody just says clap.
Yeah. The fuck?
That's so that's got to be a new Twitch thing.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for clapping, guys. Next time, put my PayPal account or e-transfer thing up here and just send me some fucking money. I can't pay my cat's vet bills with claps, guys. But
Brendan Murphy of Counterparts, everyone. Check out the new EP, Show Always Love, dude. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Bro. I would go and
Take
see
care.
you.